According to a warrant issued by Denver police, 42-year-old Michael Ninomiya called 911 last Wednesday. Eventually, firefighters tracked him and his son down to this fenced-off drainage culvert at Boston Street and Cornell Avenue near Hensel Park. The child was taken to Children's Hospital in critical condition. Michael, meanwhile, was taken to Swedish Medical with a laceration on his head. After the rescue, officials reported the child was placed on a ventilator. At this point, the arrest warrant explains how the child's mother told investigators her son wanted to go on an adventure, so Michael picked him up around 3 p.m. that day. The warrant explains the child's mom texted Michael checking on her son, at which point she started worrying because, as the warrant says, it was getting dark. She then received a call from Children's Hospital that her son was in intensive care. Investigators say the mother told them she had no concerns or reason to fear for her child with his father. Police collected Michael's clothing and cell phone as evidence. He was then arrested on January 14th.
So that's trippy. That is trippy. There's a Class 1 felony in Colorado is beating a child under 12 to death. So murder is wrong, but to beat a child is extra wrong. It's a Class 1 felony. So they're saying that, the father was trying to kill the child. They were going on an adventure. They went out. You heard what the mother said. The mother said that he wasn't a threat. So what the hell is actually going on with this case? Let's read a couple articles. New York Post says dad tried to pull 5-year-old before both pulled from icy creek. A Colorado father has been arrested for attempted murder after he allegedly tried to kill his 5-year-old son by dumping him in frigid waters in Denver last week. Michael Ninomiya, 42, and his son were pulled out from the frigid waters of a fenced-off drainage culvert along the Highline Canal on the Cherry Creek Trail on January 12th. Both were hospitalized after the rescue, with the child listed in critical condition, according to an affidavit obtained by Fox 31. 2 days, the Denver Police Department tweeted a crime alert seeking information from the public as to how the boy received his life-threatening injuries. Ninomiya was arrested on Wednesday. Ninomiya confessed that he tried to kill his son in interviews with police officers. He told cops that he pulled his son into the water and physically assaulted him to a point where he was unsure whether the boy was still breathing, according to the charging documents. He then said he began hurting himself to make it look like an accident before he decided to call for help. The boy's mother told police that Ninomiya and the child had left to go on an adventure that morning, but became concerned when it grew dark and they hadn't returned. The boy remains hospitalized at the Children's Hospital, Colorado, in critical condition due to fluctuating pressure in his brain. Records show that Ninomiya has a history of mental health treatment, was diagnosed with schizophrenia while he was in his 20s. He's charged with attempted first-degree murder of a victim under 12, and attempted child abuse that would knowingly or recklessly cause death. So, attempted? Yeah, I guess attempted. That's right. If the boy lives. So, there you go. I mean, essentially, you got the whole story right there. You had the Michael Ninomiya, 42. They're going on an adventure, and what the hell? Clearly, his son did something he didn't like, right? So he's just sitting there, trying to drown his son? Oh, you're going to try to be tough with me, huh, tough guy? Stupid motherfuckers. Well, I mean, to imagine... We're fragile. Human beings are fragile. So the child versions of humans are going to be even more fragile. And then it gets more, crazy when he's like, I mean, if anything, I guess he's sitting there owning up to the damn thing, right? Ninomiya is, said he physically assaulted him. And he says he didn't know if the boy was still breathing. So what, he's hitting him over the head, punching him, smacking him, whacking him? What's he doing? Pulled his son into the water, was physically assaulting him. And then he said he began to hurt himself to make it look like an accident, right? He's got that laceration on his head. That's because he did that. Oh, we were walking on the rocks and we fell. And then ultimately, to give him credit, he's owning up to it, and he called 911. So hopefully the child lives. Hopefully there's no permanent damage. What the fuck, though? What the fuck? It's like, you're my you're my progeny, you're my future, you're my legacy. Hey there, legacy. How dare you, trip over your shoelaces? How dare you need to have your nose wiped with the Kleenex? How dare you? What the hell could a 5-year-old have done to deserve that? What the hell could an adult have done to deserve something like that? James Holmes, we don't do corporal punishment for adults. James Holmes killed a bunch of innocent people, and nobody's hitting him. Nobody's taking him and dragging him through the icy cold and trying to drown. Nobody's doing that to him. Seems like there would be justice for this case, so there's just why the fuck does shit like this have to happen? It's like, oh, well, I didn't know you were supposed to not try to drown a boy. So he called for 911. He was unable to give a clear location. He remained on the line until they located him somewhere along the Cherry Creek Trail. Then they found him in a fenced-off drainage culvert along the High Line Channel. Ninomiya sent her 2 pictures around 4 p.m. while they were on their hike. She said she texted him asking if he was okay, and he did not reply. He never thought, she didn't think that he would hurt her, or hurt the son, but he did. So her inclination was wrong. A week after the incident, he was arrested. He gave a statement to the police 2 days later. Denver District Attorney said in court Thursday, Ninomiya's son is not expected to survive. That changes everything. That changes everything. Not only does he survive, but the extent of the damage done. If the boy lives in, 20 years, if the boy dies, then he's got to stay in jail for life. Father arrested, child injured. This is 9 News. Let's go ahead and get a little. The Denver Fire Department said at the time that a child had fallen through thin ice and their father had tried to pull them from the water. He was arrested. He called 911. He called 911 and said the child fallen through the thin ice and he tried to save him. The child was unresponsive when he was first pulled from the water. Firefighters said the boy remains in critical condition. How is he still alive? It looked like he wasn't breathing to his father, so it looked like he was unresponsive and dead, at the time. And it takes a minute or two for the EMS to get there. Prosecutor Danielle Robinson said, as the court, I'm sure, is well aware from reading the affidavit for the arrest warrant, the defendant was given essentially a full confession to intentionally trying to kill the victim in this case. In investigating the incident, officers interviewed both Ninomiya and the boy's mother, according to the affidavit. Said that the mother had been with Ninomiya Michael for 9 years, married him for 8. He's being held on a $1 million bond. He's facing charges of attempted murder of a victim under 12, attempt to commit child abuse knowingly, recklessly causing death, and attempt to commit child abuse knowing, recklessly causing serious bodily injury. Yeah, it's good for our society, for our state, America, humanity, if we take care of honor thy family, right? Honor thy family. Hopefully, the little Ninomiya whatever his name is. Hopefully he pulls through. Hopefully he lives. Hopefully he lives for his dad's sake and for his own. Fucking shit, man. Go out for a hike one day. Go out for an adventure one day with old Pops. For 8 years, had a perfect track record. Never harmed no. Right? Didn't. And then what? Motherfucker tripped, skinned his own knees, blamed it on the kid, took his aggression out on the kid. He was mad at the world, and there was his own flesh and blood looking innocently and sweetly up at him, admiringly. Sorry, Papa. I'll do better next time. Try to drown this kid. Well, that's got to be one of the worst deaths out there. Been more humane if he would have just shot him. Hitting him, his loved one just hitting him. Trying to drown him. What the fuck? A 5-year-old? Oof.